The Wild West is a time of lawlessness, danger and adventure. Few characters embody that spirit more than Butch Cassidy and the Wild Bunch. This notorious gang inspired many movies, stories, literature. Through daring robberies and their charismatic leader, Butch Cassidy. In this video, we dive into the fascinating story of Butch Cassidy and the Wild Bunch, exploring their lives, crimes, and lasting legacy in American chronicles. I am not crazy, I am just colorful. Butch Cassidy, real name is Robert Leroy Parker. He is best known as a bank and train robber, the leader of the Wild Bunch outlaw gang operating in several western states of the United States. He was born on April 13, 1866 in Beaver, Utah, the first of 13 children of British immigrants Maximillian Parker and Anne Campbell Gillies. Before moving to the United States, the family converted to the Mormon faith while still living in England and Ireland. The Parker family settled near Circleville, Utah in 1879, where they farmed and raised cattle. As a teenager, Robert left home and found work on a dairy farm in New York, where he became acquainted with a famous cowboy and herdsman named Mike Cassidy, also known as John Tolliver J.T. McClammy. Parker worked on various farms and briefly worked as a butcher in Rock Springs, Wyoming, earning the nickname Butch. He took his friend's surname, and thus became known as Butch Cassidy. Remember to hit the like button, because it helps us a lot. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press the notification bell to not miss the upcoming interesting video. Butch Cassidy continued to work on farms in the area until the age of 18 in 1884 when he moved to Telluride, Colorado. He told his family he would find work in the town's silver mines but made no mention of his plans to drive a herd of stolen horses to Colorado. There he worked odd jobs and continued to steal horses while also getting into the field of horse racing after meeting Matt Warner, a racehorse owner. Historical records indicate that Butch Cassidy was a skilled horse thief. He has the ability to tame wild horses very quickly thanks to his natural leadership. On June 24, 1889, Butch Cassidy, along with Matt Warner and the McCarty brothers Tom and Bill, robbed the San Miguel Valley Bank in Telluride, Colorado, stealing approximately $21,000. They escape into a rugged wilderness known as Robber's Roost, a network of canyons, valleys and mountain peaks where they hide from their followers. In 1890, Cassidy used his stolen money to buy a ranch near Dubois, Wyoming, where he raised cattle and herded horses. This ranch is located far from the infamous Hole in the Wall, a natural geological formation that served as a refuge for outlaws, including Cassidy's gang. However, some historians speculate that the farm was just a front for Cassidy's illegal activities and was never really profitable. In the early 1890s, Cassidy was romantically involved with Ann Bassett, an outlaw rancher. Bassett's father provided Cassidy with beef and horses for his criminal activities. In 1894, Cassidy was arrested in Lander, Wyoming for horse theft and sentenced to 2 years in the Wyoming State Prison in Laramie. He was released after serving only 18 months. After being released from prison, Cassidy continued her criminal activities and formed a gang known as the Wild Bunch, which included notable outlaws such as Harry Sundance Kid Longabaugh, William Ellsworth L.Z. Lay, Ben Tall Texan Kilpatrick, Harvey Kid Curry Logan, and others. Together, they embarked on a successful string of bank and train robberies, considered the longest in American history. This gang takes its name from the Doolin-Dalton Gang, also known as the Wild Bunch. Their first robbery took place on August 13, 1896, when Cassidy, Lay, Logan, and Bob Meeks robbed a bank in Montpelier, Idaho and made $7,000. They went on to commit multiple robberies in several states, including South Dakota, New Mexico, Nevada, Utah, Wyoming, and Montana. In between the robberies, the group sought refuge in the Hole in the Wall in Johnson County, Wyoming. After the Montpelier heist, Cassidy recruited the Sundance Kid into the Wild Bunch. In early 1897, Cassidy, along with Ann Bassett and Maud Davis, joined the robbers' roost, where they hid until April while planning the next heist. That year, Cassidy and Lay ambushed a small group of salaried workers for the Pleasant Valley Coal Company in Castle Gate, Utah, earning about $7,000 in gold. The loot was never found, and it is believed the gang may have hid it near Robbers' Roost, located along the Outlaw Trail in southeastern Utah. On June 28, 1897, 6 members of the Wild Bunch, including Kid Curry, George Flatnose Curry, the Sundance Kid, Tom Peep O'Day, Harvey Logan, and Walt Puntney, robbed a bank in Belle Fourche, South Dakota. However, the group did not prepare well for this robbery and only got 97 United States dollars. O'Day was caught hiding in a private pub but was later acquitted. Puntney was also arrested, but the charges against him were dropped. In 1899, the gang gained national attention after hijacking a Union Pacific Overland Flyer passenger train near Wilcox, Wyoming. Cassidy, Sundance Kid, Logan and Lay were among the members involved in the heist, which brought in a profit of $30,000 to $50,000. The group wears masks made from white napkins, possibly stolen from a Harvey House restaurant. This theft led to a massive manhunt for outlaws, with many prominent lawyers joining the hunt. However, the group was not caught and they parted ways, some fleeing to New Mexico. During the manhunt, Kid Curry and George Curry shot and killed Sheriff Joe Hazen in a gunfight with an attorney following the train robbery. Tom Horn, a hitman employed by the Pinkerton Agency, obtained information about the Hazen shooting and passed it on to Pinkerton detective Charlie Siringo, who was tasked with catching the outlaws. Siringo befriends Elfie Landusky, who is using the surname Curry after Lonnie, Kid Curry's brother, assuming she is pregnant. Through her, Siringo intends to locate the gang. On August 29, 1900, a group led by Butch Cassidy and possibly including Sundance and Harvey Logan, hijacked Union Pacific Train No. 3 near Tipton, Wyoming. The theft raised about $55,000. The gang also includes other members such as Ben Kilpatrick, Will Carver, Kid Curry, Tom Welch and Billy Rose. Tipton is known as a frequent Butch and Sundance collaborator. About a month later, on September 19, 1900, 3 or 4 robbers attacked the First National Bank of Winnemucca, Nevada, and took away $32,640. Sundance, Carver and Logan are suspected of being involved in the theft. George Nixon, the bank's chief treasurer, at one point confirmed and denied Butch Cassidy's presence in the robbery. Several years later, however, a newspaper recounted a conversation in which Sundance allegedly revealed that he, Butch, and Carver were responsible for the robbery. Harvey Logan's girlfriend, Annie Rogers, was arrested in Nashville, Tennessee in October for passing notes from a Montana robbery. Then on December 13, 1901, Logan killed 2 Knoxville police officers, William Dinwiddie and Robert Saylor, when they tried to arrest him. Rogers was acquitted on June 18, 1902, after serving time in prison. Logan was arrested on November 30, 1902, after an altercation with lawyers in a billiards room. He was found guilty of robbery but not murder at 2 scenes because there were no witnesses to testify, and he received a sentence of 20 years hard labor and a $5,000 fine. Logan escaped on June 27, 1903, and the circumstances of his escape are unclear. However, one deputy is suspected of accepting a bribe of $8,000 to facilitate the escape. Logan was then involved in the robbery of the Denver-Rio Grande train near Parachute, Colorado, on June 7, 1904. 2 days later, he was captured by a law enforcement team and injured in the confrontation. Instead of going to prison, Logan took his own life. He was 37 years old when he died on June 9, 1904. Meanwhile, Butch Cassidy and Harry Longabaugh hide in New York City after the gang disbands and law enforcement agencies pursue them relentlessly. On February 20, 1901, along with Longabaugh's female companion, Etta Place, they sailed for Buenos Aires, Argentina, aboard the British steamship Herminius. Cassidy impersonates James Ryan, Place's fictional brother. Once there, they settled in a 4-room bungalow on a 15,000-acre farmhouse they bought on the east bank of the Rio Blanco near Cholila, just east of the Andes in the Argentinian province of Chubut. Butch Cassidy's death remains a mystery. On November 3, 1908, 2 masked American bandits, believed to be Cassidy and Longabaugh, robbed a postman carrying a paycheck of 15,000 Bolivian pesos from the Aramayo Frank and CIA silver mines. They make their way to a small mining town called San Vicente, where they stay in an inn owned by a resident miner named Bonifacio Casasola. Local authorities were alerted when a cavalry unit of the Bolivian army stationed nearby, the Abaroa Regiment, sent 3 soldiers to San Vicente after the robbery. On the evening of November 6, the inn was besieged by soldiers, the sheriff, the local mayor, and some of his officials, who were about to arrest the robbers. As the soldiers approached the house, the robbers opened fire, killing one of the soldiers and injuring another. A gunfight ensued. At about 2 a.m., while the gunfire subsided, police and soldiers heard a man screaming from inside the house. Just then, a single shot rang out from inside the house, then the screaming stopped. The next morning, authorities found 2 bodies with multiple bullet wounds in their arms and legs. One was shot in the forehead, and the other was shot in the temple. According to a local police report, one of the robbers likely shot his accomplices to end the suffering before killing himself with the last bullet. The investigation identified the robbers as the ones who robbed Aramayo's salary transport, but their real names remain unknown. The bodies were buried in the small cemetery of San Vicente, where they were interred near the grave of a German miner named Gustav Zimmer. Despite their efforts to locate the unmarked grave, no remains matching Cassidy and Longabaugh's DNA were discovered. For years, there have been claims that the 2 people killed in Bolivia were not Cassidy and Longabaugh. Cassidy's sister announced that he had returned to the family home in Circleville, while others in Baggy, Wyoming, another town that Wild Bunch frequented, claimed he visited in the 1920s. Cassidy's sister reported that Butch lived in the Northwest and died in 1937, and his family agreed not to reveal his final resting place. Despite his criminal record, Butch Cassidy is known for his charm and reputation as a thief who has never killed anyone. Cassidy also has a reputation for keeping her word. According to one story, he once asked to be released the night before he began serving his sentence, promising to return to prison the next day. The authorities let him go, and Cassidy returned to see them the next morning. Cassidy's life and death has been the subject of many books, movies, and TV shows. He remains one of the Wild West's most famous icons. Please like and share if you find the video content interesting and useful. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and comment below, so as not to miss the upcoming interesting videos. Thanks for watching.